how much do I earn right now as a software developer? Hello and welcome to Pharma-Code. My name is Raphael. In today's video, we're going to be talking about money. So how much exactly do software engineers in Canada earn? Well, contrary to what most people believe, software developers in Canada do not earn a lot of money, especially when you compare the salaries of software engineers in Canada in relation to software engineers in the United States of America. So in this video, I'm going to be categorizing the salary of software engineers in Canada into two main categories based on location, and I'm going to group Ontario. I'm going to place Ontario into one group and then the other provinces into the other group. Well, generally speaking, Ontario is a relatively more expensive province to live in, and so salaries are kind of higher in Ontario, and this also reflects in software engineer salaries as well. And so it is expected that a software engineer in Ontario will be paid more compared to a software engineer in other provinces, e.g. Alberta, where I live in. Okay, so the other category is generally software engineers are kind of split into three main groups. So we have junior engineers, intermediate, and senior engineers. So junior software developers or junior software engineers are usually people who are fresh out of college or fresh out of boot camp, who have probably 1 or 2 years experience under their belts, who are basically fresh into the industry. In the intermediate software developers or engineers are people who have probably somewhere between 3 to 5 years of experience, and while senior software engineers are people who have probably 5 years and above experience. And that's like a very rough way to categorize software engineers. So now let's go into the salary. So if you are in Ontario and you're a junior software developer, chances are you would earn somewhere between 60,000 to 65,000 Canadian dollars. And this range can vary based on the industry, the company you're working with, sometimes the number of years that you have as a junior developer as well. So that can be the range. So somewhere a junior engineer in Ontario will probably be paid somewhere between 60 to 65,000 Canadian dollars. However, that same junior developer or junior engineer in another province, say for instance Alberta, where I live in, will be paid somewhere between 50,000 to 60,000 Canadian dollars. Okay, for intermediate engineers in Ontario, they would be paid anywhere between 85,000 to 90,000 Canadian dollars. So, and like I said earlier, this can vary from the number of experience that this junior engineer has, the industry, the company you're working with, sometimes also how well you're able to negotiate your salary. While an intermediate software engineer in other provinces like Alberta, Manitoba, and Nova Scotia and the likes will be paid somewhere between 80,000 to 90,000 Canadian dollars. Okay, while senior developers, senior engineers, people who have probably 5, 6, 7 years and above experience under their belts, these are in Ontario, they would be paid 6 figures, somewhere between 110,000 to 120,000 or 150,000 Canadian dollars. So anywhere between 110 to 150,000 Canadian dollars. However, in other provinces, a senior software engineer will be paid somewhere between 100,000 to 115,000 Canadian dollars, and all of this salary is per annum. Okay, so now you can see that a software engineer in Canada would earn anywhere between 85,000 to 150,000 Canadian dollars. Now, this is not to say that that is how much everyone earns. There are always exceptions to the rules. Sometimes you might work for a company, or you might work in an industry, or you might have certain skills or certain languages under your belt that are very, very well sought after, and so your salary might probably be higher. So there are definitely exceptions to this rule. Another exception is probably you're working for one of the FANG or the MANG companies, right? And so the likes of Facebook or Meta, what it's called now, Google or Alphabet, the likes of all of this, Netflix and the likes, all of these top companies, you probably will be earning somewhere between 180 to maybe 205,000 Canadian dollars per year. But like I said, those are exceptions to the rule. So the general average of how much a software engineer in Canada would earn is between 85,000 to 130,000 Canadian dollars. That is a relatively low salary compared to the cost of living in Canada, like the cost of rent, or if you are paying your mortgage, the cost of insurance, the cost of feeding, and basically just living in Canada. So that's a relatively low amount of money to be paid anyways. However, some people have targeted to work for US companies, and so they are paid higher, and they haven't paid in US dollars, which is relatively good compared to the Canadian dollar. Anyway, I hope in this very short video I have been able to throw more light on how much software engineers actually earn in Canada, and let me know if that meets your expectation, beats your expectation, or it's far below your expectation. Now, don't get me wrong, that is actually a good amount of money to be earning in Canada. Like, that's actually a good amount of money to earn in Canada. Software engineers are paid relatively good amount of money, right? However, I guess the cost of living these days have kind of overshadowed the amount of money that you are paid. Yeah, so that's what it is. And then to answer the question, how much do I earn right now as a software developer? So right now I am in the category of an intermediate software developer, and so I earn within the range of a software developer who lives outside of Ontario, so somewhere between 80,000 to 90,000 Canadian dollars. That is how much I earn right now as a software engineer with less than 3 years, or about 3 years experience. So that is all about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye. Au revoir.